Hi everyone, what's up? It's Gail here. I'm going to show you how to make a color wheel pine tree. Even though it's not a true color wheel, it will have the colors that are in a small color wheel. So the way that we can remember the colors is by going up here to Untitled Drawing. I'm going to click here and I'm going to type in a mnemonic method, and it's Roy G. Biv. And in a minute I'll go over what that means, and then I'm going to type in tree. So Roy G. Biv are the colors in the color wheel. R stands for red, O orange, Y yellow, G green, B blue, and V violet. So now we're going to start our drawing in just a moment. But the first thing is, if you have a folder in Google Drive, go to File, and then go ahead and move your this picture over already. So I'm going to click on this folder right here and move it. Okay, awesome. And now we're ready to begin. So the first thing we're going to do is take two fingers and press down with both of them together on your launch pad or your mouse. And then this pop-up window pops up here. We're going down to background, and I'm going to choose a dark, like a midnight blue color right here. You can choose any color you want. The next thing I'm going to do is go up to the shape tools right here, and I'm going to choose a rectangle. I'm going to pull this out for the ground, and I'm just going to go all the way across here. And all of these tools have a black outline around it, so if you want to get rid of that, we're going up to, well, first of all, I have to select it. So now it's selected in blue, and I can go up to the border color, and I'm going to choose transparent, so I got rid of that. I'm also going to change the color to maybe a light gray, maybe kind of like that. That looks pretty good. And now we're ready to start to create our tree. So the first part I'm going to create is the trunk. So I'm going to get a square right here, and I'm going to click and drag out a little shape for the trunk. And we're going to keep this kind of more simple and more geometric shapes, like rectangles and triangles and stars and things like that, and spheres. So I have this shape right here, and I'm going to choose a color for it. If I want, I can have fun and click on the color palette up here. I'm going to choose gradient, and I think I'm going to choose like a brownish color like this right now, and then I'm going to go back to those colors again. I'm coming down to custom, and on these are called stop colors, these little squares on the ends. So I'm going to choose the orange side over here, and I'm going to make that a little bit more of a brownish color like so. I'm going to keep this one over here, and then I'm going to click OK. And that just gives it a little bit of shading. And then I think I want it a little bit darker at the top underneath the tree, so I'm going to switch this. So I'm going to click on, I have it selected already. So I'm going back to gradient here. I'm going to custom, and instead of having it at 90 degrees, I'm going to change it to 270 degrees and click OK. And that's what I want. So that looks good. So right now it has that black outline around it. So I'm going up to the border color, and I'm going to make that transparent. And now we're ready to create our tree. So I'm going to the shape tools again. I'm going to choose the isosceles triangle right here. And I'm going to click and pull out the shape right here and kind of get the shape I want for the tree. Then I'm going to move this over. And I think I might move this down a little bit more right here, because we got plenty of space down here. Maybe I'll make this a little shorter back here too. Yeah, let's bring this down a little bit more. Okay, awesome. And I'm just going to pull this up a little more here. Okay, like there. Okay, that's pretty cool. And I'm going to select that triangle again. I'm going to the fill color. I'm coming over to gradient, and this time we're going to fill it in with the colors of the color wheel. So I'm going down to custom, and we brought this custom gradient up here again. And last time when we did the trunk, we just chose colors for the ends here. So before I add my colors, I'm going to add 5 more circles in between. 2 of the circles that I'm going to use for my stop color are going to be for yellow, and I like to keep the yellow a little bit more pure and clean in the center, so that's the only color that I will repeat twice. So I'm going to go to add, I'm adding a circle, so I'm going to add 1, 2, I'm going to add 5 more. And then I'm going to spread these out right here. And we can move them around more later, but this is just to get started. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can do whatever you decide to do there. Okay, so I have these, and I'm going to start with red over here on the left side. So I'm clicking that square right here, coming up to the toggle, which is this upside down triangle next to the color, select gradient stop color right here. And I'm going to choose red. The next one, I'm going to click and choose orange. This one right here, I'm going to choose yellow. I'm also going to choose yellow for the second one. And then the next one, I'm going to green. And you can see that I'm following the colors up here, Roy G. Biv. Then the next color I'm going to will be blue. And then, oops, I guess I made too many. And then the next one will be purple, and that's okay. I will change this a little bit, and I'm going to add another purple over here. Normally I don't get as much purple as I'd like, so that'll be okay. So I'm going to keep that. So I think I'll kind of stretch it out a little bit like this. It looks like the green could be a little bit more, so we're going to make the yellow a little bit shorter here. And maybe we'll make the red a little bit longer. So you can see all the colors right here and how they're going to turn out. When you like the way this looks, you're just going to click OK. And now you have your tree. So I'm going to take the outline off around the side there by clicking on the border color again and choosing transparent. So now I have that. Awesome. And the next part is to add a star. So we're going back to the shape tools. I'm going to look at shapes right here and see if there's a star there, and I don't think it's there. I think we have to go down to callouts, and yes, we do. So if you wanted to, you could create some stars or something like this, but I'm going to choose the 5-pointed star right here. And I'm going to hold down the Shift button and click and drag out the star, so that way it's even on all sides. And then I'm just going to kind of play around with where I want this on top of the tree. Maybe I'll make it a little bit higher up there. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to select the star again. I'm going to the fill color, then I'm going to gradient, and I'm going to choose the yellow that has the light in the middle. This is the radial gradient. It just means that's light in the middle, and then it's dark all the way around. So it looks like that. And I'm also going to take off that border color. I'm going to choose transparent. So now we have that. And the next step would be to maybe add some ornaments on the tree. So I'm going to the shape tool, going to shapes, and underneath the rectangle is the circle. I'm going to hold down the Shift button and pull out my circle so it stays a circle instead of changes to an oval. And I think I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, so I'm holding down the Shift key button again, and that looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to bring this over, and if I want, I could choose different colors on this. I'm going to get rid of the outline over here, make that transparent, and then I'm going to the fill color, and I'm going to gradient. I'm sticking with the radial design again. And I think I'm going to go with this darker gray right here for ornaments on the tree. So now that I have that selected, what I can do, instead of redoing this, going up to the shape tool all the time to grab a circle, is I can duplicate it. So once it's selected like this, I can hold down the Shift, or not the Shift key, I can hold down the Control key on most computers, but if you're on an Apple device, hold down Command instead, and also press D on the keyboard and you can duplicate. And I'm just going to hit D several times here, and I can duplicate quite a few of these. So I'm actually going to hold this down, and I might just change the colors a little bit later. I don't know what I'm going to do here. And you can have fun with this, but I'm just going to kind of bring these out a little bit, kind of go in a zigzag pattern, so to speak. And maybe I'll go across this way too. So just have some fun with this if you like. And I'm just going to kind of keep it like that for right now. If I want to, I could change the colors and things. I'm going to bring this one in a little bit so it's not creating a tangent right there on the edge of the triangle, because otherwise it causes your attention to go there instead of where you want to direct the viewer's attention. So I just moved that in a little bit like that. I'm just going to keep this one like this for today. And then I'm going to duplicate this circle once more, just once. And now I'm going to bring it out here, and I'm going to change it to the color of snow. So I'm going to choose the lightest white gray one down here like this. And I think what I'm going to do is select this again and go down to custom and just change this darker gray over here. That gray looks like it's this one right here. I'm just going to choose a little bit lighter gray, and maybe I'll go one lighter even than that. So I think I'll choose that one. And that way it's a little brighter. I like that. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to duplicate again, which is Ctrl plus D or Command plus D. And then I'm just going to move these out and see if I need more. And you know, you can kind of play around with this. I'm doing this kind of quick just to kind of show you. And it looks like I need to duplicate a couple more times. And just kind of make them more random so they don't look like a pattern. I did create a pattern on the tree, and I could add more if I wanted to, but that's pretty good for right now. And then the next step is to choose the parts that you might want to add a casting shadow. So I'll just show you what that looks like. To add a casting shadow, it's called a drop shadow in Google Drawing. And if you go through Google Docs, you probably won't see format options, but I'll show you how you can access format options through Google Drive. So the parts that I want to select, I'm going to hold down the Shift key so I can select several of them at once. So I'm pressing down the Shift key, I'm clicking on the star, I'm going to click on the ornaments on the tree, and I'm going to click on the tree and the trunk. These are the parts that I would like to add a shadow to. So once I have this selected, you might see format options right up here. And if you don't, there might be these three horizontal dots right here. This just means to click on here, there's more here. And here is format options. So I'm going to click on this, and then my format options pop up here. And I'm still holding down the Shift key, by the way. So I'm going to this sideways triangle right here where it says drop shadow. I'm going to click on it so it goes downward. And I'm going to keep this on, I think I'm going to change this to the navy blue. I'm just going to see what happens. If I don't like it, I can always change it again. And I'm going to move the distance out a little bit, and the angle looks pretty good actually. I think I'll keep the angle like that. And if I want to blur it a little bit, I can. And I'm going to let go of the Shift key, I'm going to unclick that, and now I've just kind of made it stand out a little bit. It's a little bit more 3D. It looks like papers have been placed on top of one another, and it just kind of creates a fun little atmosphere. It gives it a little bit more detail. And you could always add more ornaments and create more things and stuff, but I just wanted to show this for this video. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just going to move this up a little bit more, or maybe I'll move it down a little bit and then make this a little shorter. Make this a little long. And if you want, you could add more trees and you could add mountains. And I will show more on this later. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like it, please give us a like so we can keep making more videos. And I hope to see you soon. Until then, later.